Hey there, Fortnite fans. Today we're taking a look at a brand new Whiplash. This is the Vibin Whiplash, and it comes with Snap. This is the figure over here, and you can kind of see the skin in-game art right over there. And what I find really funny about this set is that it was recently found in Australia. That's like the only place in the world that this has been seen. Not US, not the UK, just Australia. And from what it seems like, random figures and sets are just being found different places in the world. Like, the distribution seems really nuts, really crazy with this line at the moment. And I don't know if this is still left over from 2020 and 21, or if this is a whole new set of issues. I'm really not sure, but either way, I hope this actually does see release in the broader markets. Not that Australia is not a broad market, but like the US and the UK and Canada and so forth, it'd be really cool to see this pop up there as well. But if you're looking for this, you might want to check out things like Australian eBay. If I find a link for it, I'll throw it in the description below. But anyway, let's flip this thing around. This is just like all the other Whiplashes. I mean, except for it's got paint, different really cool paints and stuff. The cross sale on this is a limited edition gummy fish stick, solo version, I think, Zadie, a taxi. Now, there are two different versions of the taxi floating around. There's the original one with cabbie, but then there's this unreleased one with dummy, and I don't even know if that's even happening or if that's what this means. And then you have a Master Grade Series Mecha Strike Commander. So they're kind of hitting all the things, a deluxe figure, a solo figure, a limited edition, and a vehicle. So that's kind of where this vehicle and figure is placed in that series of things. Yeah, let's get this thing out of the box. And we're back with the stuff out of the box. Let's take a look here at the Whiplash first. It should be pretty quick, but this is pretty cool. It's got all these sprays all over it, and I'm not going to even pretend to sit here and try to name all of them, because there's just so many of them. And I like the design. I mean, not the design. I mean, I love the design of this car. I think it's pretty awesome. But the yellow, and then you've got this kind of greenish teal color, maybe a sea foam of sorts, all over it. And I think it looks really nice. There's no sticker for the license plate, but I don't remember if that was actually in game with this version. This was, from what I understand, not the most well-received season in the Fortnite game. There we go. So just kind of flipping this around. So it's from Chapter 3 of the game. Doors open like that. I'm always a huge fan of the Whiplash cars. I think these are just a lot of fun to play with. They roll really well. Yeah. And I think they're just pretty rad. You got this little antenna, and as always, I'll point out that this is probably the most fragile piece on the entire vehicle because it flicks around, so if it gets snagged, there's a possibility that it could get ripped off. I don't know. These are a little bit loosey side view mirrors, but I don't think that's as big of a deal. Too bad they didn't include some stickers that you could put in there for the side view mirrors like they did with the bear. That was pretty awesome. You got this spoiler here in the back. That seems like it's on pretty well. But I really like this. I've always enjoyed these vehicles. I think these are a lot of fun. Now, I would enjoy this even more. You know, we'll just pretend that I think that the Whiplash vehicles are 9 or 10 out of 10. Let's just crank it up to 12 or 15 and get some chonker modifications for our vehicles. Or what would be awesome if they actually released a chonkered version of some of these vehicles. That would be awesome. I'd love to have a chonkered version of Whiplash. Back when they were doing chonkers, the chonkered Whiplash was just like my favorite. You know, get a really awesome color scheme and some chonker wheels on this sucker. Oh my goodness. Now, the thing that I find really cool, or I think is potentially really cool with these Whiplash vehicles, is they're just a sports car. And even if you're a collector or someone who buys these to play with and you're not into Fortnite, this is still a really cool, fun, little cartoony car design, and it fits, as I've shown before, just about all 4-inch action figures. So you can get this for your action figures. You know, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to collect Fortnite. You can just get this and have a lot of fun with it. You could even, you know, if you don't like the current paint scheme, you could paint it all up. I'm not a customizer, so I don't know exactly how you would do that, but it feels like it's molded in this yellow plastic, so I'd imagine you just kind of scrub it down to its base, and then you can apply any coats of paint. I would think Whiplashes and the Bears would just be selling like crazy off the shelf for anyone in 4-inch world, to customize or just to use. I mean, the Bear was pretty awesome. It's just a very generic looking pickup truck. And I don't know, I think this would just be really cool for just about anybody who wants a little sports car for their 4-inch figures. All right, we'll set this off to the side now and take a look at the figure. Here is Mr. Snap, and this is what it says on the box, and I'm probably going to really solder this, but here's my attempt. It's the Blue Arg style. And so anyway, and why he's missing an arm, the figure didn't break, but this has a little indication here saying that it has swappable parts. And if you're familiar with the game, Snap is a very customizable skin. You've got different heads and different torsos, different arms, different legs. That's why he looks the way he does. He's got kind of like, I don't know, is this like a P1000 arm? Maybe it's something else. It almost looks like a razor blade down here. But he's got different heads, different arms. He's very customizable. So supposedly, this is an arm that you could put on and maybe take back off. The reason I haven't put it on, like I didn't put it on off camera, is, well, makes me a little nervous here. And that is the peg hole looks a little bit small for that arm peg, meaning that if I put it in, I might not be able to easily pull it back out unless I heat it up. So I wanted to show it to you on camera this way first. In fact, I might even need to heat it up to put it on because it doesn't. It keeps trying to move the arm, but let's see. Yep, I might have to heat this thing up. I'll be right back. I'm going to try and heat this thing up and see if I can get it in. And that worked pretty good. I ended up heating the torso area up to try to allow that hole to expand as I put the peg in. And it took a few seconds. It wasn't the quickest, easiest, but it did work, and the arm is now in. And it's just like I'm thinking, it's going to be probably pretty difficult just to pull that arm off and do the swappable parts, as this thing says. So you might, if you get this figure and you want really truly swappable parts, you may have to enlarge these holes just a little bit. Now, a couple really cool things is the heads in-game, and you could do anything you want to, but in-game, Snap has customizable heads, and you can have a tomato head, or a beef boss head, or a cuddle team leader. I don't have that with me at the moment, but you could essentially put these heads on here, and the head pops off really pretty easy. The only problem is going to be, and we're going to bring this up much closer here after I fight with my lights. But let's, I want to show you some stuff here. So there's the neck peg, and then here is, if you can see in there, the hole for Tomato Head's head. That is most definitely not the same size. Let's take a look here at Beef Boss, and there is the hole for Beef Boss's head, and that is absolutely also definitely not the correct size. So you could heat the heads up to put this in there, or you might need to shave off, open that hole up just a little bit, and then you could get the head on here. And I think that would be really awesome, because if you want to do some in-game related stuff, that would just be really cool. I do want to show you something interesting. This neck joint is kind of unique. I say kind of, I mean it is unique for Fortnite action figures. I haven't seen a neck like this before. It's got the standard hinge that goes back and forth like that, but it's got a rotation right down here at the base of the neck. This can rotate back and forth. See if I can get a little bit closer here for you to see. But it rotates back and forth. Not only that, I think there's like a ball joint down in the neck that allows it to move back and forth like this. Not back and forth, but just it mostly is up and down, straight, nodding forward and leaning back. So you've got almost kind of like a double bend. Look at that. You could lean the neck really forward, and then you could hinge the ball joint like way down. He could look like crazy. Let's go ahead and put the head on. Put the head back on. That goes on really easy. But like, he could look crazy down because of that. Or, oh, look at that. It came out. Now we can see what it is. So yeah, it is just a ball joint. Look at that. It's just a little ball joint that is on a rotation. I wasn't actually expecting it to come out, but I extremely brought it back. So I wonder if it comes out once, does that mean it's going to come out easier again? Anyway, I'm not saying anything negative here. I think I really like kind of like how this works. I'm actually, yeah, might be something once you pull it out, it's gonna, but I really like this idea. That's really cool. You got the movement of a ball joint and a hinge, but then you have this neck rotation, which this is actually, the head is now really loose, so it just goes every which way. I think this kind of neck joint is actually pretty clever, and you can get a ton of articulation range. This would be a really cool feature to probably add in, provided it worked really well, into all Fortnite action figures going forward. If the budget is there, I don't know. I'm just talking now, but maybe a deeper ball joint, neck ball joint down in there, and that would work well so it didn't pop out. But really, let's take the head off. Yes, it's going to pop out now easier. So if it was a little bit deeper and a little bit tighter, I think that would just be really, yeah, there's a lot of articulation there. That's pretty cool. So let's get back, and now we'll take a look at the rest of the articulation for this figure. And beyond that, I would like to say it's got some pretty standard articulation, except, well, I'm not sure what's standard anymore for a Jazwares Fortnite figure. So I'll go down straight down to the legs. It's got this new kind of leg, thigh, crotch swivel. Wait, what did I call that? Oh, shoot, I called it something in the previous video. The Fortnite twist. I think it was the twist. So it's got the twist down here. I like that, the Fortnite twist, where you can rotate the legs back and forth. It doesn't go all the way around, but it doesn't have to because people's legs don't go all the way around. I think it works pretty well. It does have double pinless knees. I think they're pinless. Nope, they're double pins. But, yeah, there's a double knee joint, and it's hidden kind of up in the shorts, so he can bring his knees back that far. Both sides can do that, and that's pretty cool, I think. I like how, you know, if you can hide the articulation and it's still there, I really like that idea. Now, the ankles are different. The ankles are just a ball joint. There's no swivel, there's no pivot, there's no hinge. It's just a ball. And gosh, I don't know. I almost kind of like this. I don't know that I've ever seen, I don't know that I have a figure that just uses a ball joint. But let's see. If you want him to lean back like so, we'll straighten him up there. He can lean back that far. I mean, I think that's actually pretty good. If you want him to lean forward, I mean, he doesn't go as far. So, I mean, maybe the range could be a little bit better, but it's a ball joint. But I kind of like this. If it didn't get loose over the course of time, and I don't know how this is going to work, I kind of like this. That's like, you can really get him in some poses. And pretty easy. You don't have to like twist and hinge and pivot and all sorts of things. It just kind of, yeah, I really like the ball joint for ankles. Let me know in the comments below, you know, what do you think about ball joints on ankles? Have you experienced them? Do you like them? If you have experienced them, do you like them? Do you not like them? Are there pros and cons? Or I kind of like this, I think. I kind of like, now that might be a hindrance right there. If you want to put a foot back, then it can only lean forward. So there'd need to be some sort of maybe a little bit of a cut in the foot to accommodate that. But I think I'm liking this. All right, so we'll move on from the ball joints, but I think I like this for what it is. Oh, by the way, he is number 311. That is the figure number. And for anyone who's questioning if you've gotten in this far, he is 4 inches tall, roughly 4 inches, 1/18 scale. So what about these? The torso. So the torso can rotate, or the waist can rotate. The lower torso can rotate, and he's got this torso that moves around a little bit and back and forth. So he's got some nice articulation through there. What about these arms? Well, the arms, pretty good. Rotates all the way around. And there we go. The right arm, we're going to do both arms because they're kind of different arms. But the right arm can go up that far. And this has a rotation. Sorry, I'm looking and I'm feeling here. So there is a hinge there, but it almost feels a little gummy. Like if I wanted to try to rotate this all the way around, it might kind of break off, so might heat that up a little bit. The left arm can go up that far. That's about where you're going, and go down that far. That's your range right there. Rotate all the way around. The only thing the left arm has is a pretty solid 90-degree angle. Yes. And there is a rotation and a hinge at the wrist. So the left arm is definitely a lot more hindered, but that's the style of it. Even in game, it kind of looks funky and clunky. So the right arm has a lot more range of motion. But you know what? For this character, for this figure, I think this is pretty cool. I hope they release more Snap figures so we can get lots of different variety of parts, and maybe even get some proper tomato heads and beef boss heads that fit properly, so you don't have to go and cut out and warm up things. I think that would be pretty awesome. I'm a huge fan of Snap. The day it came out in game, I was like, oh, we're gonna get that as a figure. I just know we are. This is just almost too perfect of a character in game that if they didn't make a figure of this, what a huge missed opportunity. And here is Snap. Unfortunately, he's only available currently in Australia. We've seen a solo version, and it's a slightly different style, but no hint or word on if that figure is actually going to be released. I haven't even been able to snag one myself yet through channels, overseas channels. So I sure hope this comes out. That would be pretty cool. So real quick, I want to grab these guys. Here's an X-Lord, and here is a Storm Rider, and neither of them want to stand right now. There we go. Got to do a height comparison between the Whiplash drivers here. And during my little bit of research for this video, it not occurred to me, but I discovered that, unbeknownst to me, I somehow missed doing a video on the green Whiplash and Storm Racer, or Storm Rider. Shoot, maybe it's Storm Racer. But anyway, there's height comparison between these guys. We'll move them off to the side. Let's bring in our Vibin Whiplash, and let's do some side-by-sides real quick. We've got the green Whiplash there, and we've got the blue Whiplash there. Can you even see them in their totality? I mean, there we go. We'll move the camera back here just a little bit so you can move this around so you can see just a little bit. The original over here, the blue with the white stripes, the second one, the green one, and then the third one, the Vibin one. So I'm a huge fan of these cars. I've said it already. I've said it before. Here, we'll just kind of put the driver next to the vehicle, their vehicle. Somehow, some way. There. Because people like their pictures with cars, right? With their cars. Oh, I lost Storm Racer. That's okay, we'll just put him right there. So there. Now we've got all three Whiplash vehicles, all three drivers. Don't they look cool? I'm excited. Man, I wish distribution for this line was so much better, and maybe it will get better in the future. I sure hope so, because Jazwares puts out some really good 4-inch action figures in vehicles. I mean, these really, truly, overall, in the scheme of things, are awesome and great. And while I might not enjoy the looks of every single one, the overall line is really, really something special these days. You don't get 311 figures with multiple accessories and vehicles and packs. You don't get that anymore these days. So this Fortnite line has become something very special, and I hope it continues on to be something even more special, because it's really cool. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.